All right, so these gloves were brand new. Not brand new, but they were new, you know, when I started working on the Airstream. Look. Look at that. Don't let anybody tell you that it's for the faint of heart. It is not. It is grueling, intensive labor that is full of surprises. It's a Pandora's box opening into endless Pandora's box. I'm serious. Anyway, let's take a good gander here where we're at. So basically, my flooring is all cut. I'm notched for specific C-channel. Everything is down to the 1/4 inch. Not the millimeter, but as close to it as you can get. This is what she looks like right now. So today, more of my wiring goes into play. And all of that insulation is going to get put down in that floor. And then this flooring gets put down. I've brought specific labelers for each wire that I'm going to lay into it. And you'll see here there's specific and intense wire that goes on. Do you see the white wire? And then over there, left of the Gatorade bottle, you'll see some black wire. And then down here, you'll see some more black wire. Well, a lot of this Airstream has to do with running the right wire. I ran a wire channel here and also a frame stabilizer and a floor strengthener, because the Kusa flooring is a lot more flexible than regular flooring, than, you know, plywood. It's stronger, but it is more flexible. Here you'll see another brace that I implemented to give me a bit more surface area on the joints. There I've done some foam on the brand new tank. I mean, these tanks are great. I figured, you know what, if they've lasted this long and they're airtight, watertight, then they're made really, really well. So I've kept them. Do you see this wiring here? There's like red and white wire. Well, those are individual wires that are coming off of my digital tank monitoring system. So I'm going to be running dual tank monitoring systems. I've replaced the valves on the black water and the gray water. That way that's all new, you know. The tank itself, there was no need to. I actually cleaned them. If you can look very carefully down in there, you'll see sort of like a chlorine remains inside that big hole, which is basically where your shitter goes. Over there, I'm running smart power. So I wired that in. I'll show you that now. This is where the new input is going to be for your electrical. I think it's really cool. It's super simple to put in. You lift this up and you plug in. Super simple. And it's watertight. And I liked it here because underneath it there's this, you know, there's this sign, and I thought that was really in keeping with the design, and it kind of looks cool back here. Plus, it keeps the electrical away from the water. I see a lot of you know, electrical very close to, excuse me, let me actually go around the other side here real quick. I see a lot of electrical right next to water, and who knows, I mean, if you spring a leak or something, you're right there in your power zone, and it doesn't make sense to me anyway. So all of this looks like a terrible mess, but I'm telling you, there's a science behind it. I went over it a few times. Today I'm going to go over it one more time. And this adds so much strength to your subfloor. It just is like, it's like glue, okay? The subfloor went from this crazy, oh, and by the way, they use styrofoam in the factory, just in case, well, at least that's how I found this. Styrofoam blocks, I replaced it with newer styrofoam blocks. Seems to work very well. That foam adds such rigidity to the subfloor, I can't even tell you. Plus, the sound deadening characteristics of it were superlative. I just found it very, very slick. Down here, we're running all new. Already got that as part of the underbelly treatment. This is a new toggle switch. I liked this better. This is cooler, you know. It's a waterproof toggle switch. Just thought it was nice to have that with a LED pointed down, so you can turn it on or off from out here. As far as the body goes, I mean, this thing is in really nice shape. My next thing now is, once the floor is in, is literally to go to the exterior and make sure that all of our exterior elements are watertight, because water can get down in the crack there. So I've got Trum Pro, which is specific to Airstream repairs, as part of the plan to make sure all that's cool. So I'm going to make my next video. Oh yeah, you see over there? You're talking about your plumbing. I wanted clear, so I placed the plumbing with clear, just because I like to be able to see the water. You know, when you fill that thing up, and the water comes up through that clear pipe, you can see the cleanliness of the water through that clear pipe. Other than that, we're ready to go to the next phase. So my next video will be with all of this wiring complete. I'm going to run, I've got about 1,400 feet of wiring altogether. Think about that. Pretty demonstrative, huh? But that's what's going to go, because that white wire that's pictured right there is going into my subfloor. And that goes out as the underglow LED line feeds. That's what those are, preemptive. And then my next phase is, I'm running more. I love my channel, by the way. I love the way the channel ran through that. I'm going to run another, I think 3 or 4 more wires through my channel into the rear of the trailer, because that way I've got LED or whatever I need it for, because it's shielded 18 gauge wire, very, very expensive wire, all the way into the rear. So I can do all kinds of fancy LED stuff. Not that I'm dedicating 100% the white cabling to the LED, but I'm predominantly keeping it that way just for identification purposes. And I'm also going to label all the wires, so that way you have more than you need. I've also got an XLR over there, if you can see that in the middle, right behind that gray pipe going to the Gatorade bottle. There's an XLR cable right there, and that is because if you want to run a music studio in here, and you want to have the back room as a vocal booth, and you want to have the front area as your production zone, that's gonna come in real handy. So you don't have to run an XLR cable all the way from the front to the back. You just plug into the closet.